Hi, I am Dr. Wasim Sheikh. In today's video, we will learn about the dislocation mechanism in single crystal and in polycrystalline material. So let us start. So in an earlier video, we have seen what is deformation mechanism. So deformation mechanism consists of a slip plane and a slip direction. So this is nothing but a slip mechanism. So in slip plane, the slip plane is nothing but a plane in a crystal structure or in a material which has the highest atomic density. A slip direction is a direction in a material which has the highest linear density, and together they form the slip mechanism. And basically what happens is the material, with the help of the slip mechanism, it has some favorable direction and favorable plane by which it can deform the material plastically. Now let us see a scenario where we have a single crystal material and how the slip mechanism happens in a single crystal material. So in a single crystal material, imagine that it has been under some stress, it has been under some tension. So what will happen is that slip occurs along a number of equivalent and most favorable planes. So there are some most favorable planes which has highest atomic density and higher linear density. In combination, there are some favorable planes where such type of deformation will happen initially. So initially when the material deform, it is because of these particular slip plane which are favorably oriented in terms of plane and in terms of direction, and the material will try to deform. So here, as we see in the image, the material is under tension and then it will try to deform, and the slip deformation forms a small step on the surface of the single crystal that they are parallel to one another and loop around the circumference of the material. So these small planes and small steps are forming along the material in the single crystal, and this will go around the circumference and this will be parallel to each other, and then the material is simultaneously deforming. So each step results from the movement of the large number of dislocation. So we know that without dislocation, plastic deformation cannot happen. So here dislocations are responsible. The movement of the dislocation will basically help the material to deform, and this is happening because of the movement of dislocation. And for FCC and BCC metal which plastically deform, necking is happening. So the material is deforming and there is necking happening. That means the diameter or the material is changing the shape and size, and slip can eventually occur along the second slip system. So when the material deforms with the favorable slip plane, the material will also try to deform, which is the next favorable plane. So the next plane will also come into picture. So the first plane is deforming, the second plane is also deforming, and like that the material will go on and on. After that, the third most favorable, the fourth most favorable plane will try to deform the material. So now here look at this image which shows that on the surface of the material, small steps are forming on a single crystal material. These are nothing but these are slip plane, and this is an actual image where you can see that the slip plane are easily visible on the material, and these are nothing but the plane which are oriented favorably for deformation. So on the surface of the polished single crystal specimen, these steps appears as lines which are called as the slip line. So when you see a very polished surface on polished material, these lines are there which are appearing, and it will appear as a very sharp line, and these are nothing but slip lines. So a zinc single crystal that has been plastically deformed to a degree that these slip markings are discernible is shown in this figure, that easily you can identify that these are the markings which are there, and these are nothing but these are slip planes. So with the continuous tensile or compressive load which is applied, number of these slip lines will go on increasing and these will be multiplying. As I was telling earlier, the favorable planes will try to orient themselves in such a way and they will try to deform the material. This is a single crystal HCP zinc material. So slip in polycrystalline material. So how the slip will happen in a polycrystalline material? So polycrystalline material means you can imagine that number of single crystals are there which are aligned besides each other. So the slip plane and slip direction, they change from one crystal orientation to the another. So here in the image we see a slip line on the surface of a polycrystalline copper material that was polished and it has been deformed, and individually in each grain you can see these slip lines. And similarly to a material which we have seen earlier which was a single crystal, here it is polycrystal, but still in each and every individual grain you can see these slip lines which are there. Then dislocation motion will occur along the slip system with highest shear stress, and shear stress will vary from one crystal to another as shown in the polycrystalline copper. So here we have a resolved shear stress which we have, and then this shear stress will basically help and then material will deform. The slip lines are microscopic ledges produced by dislocation that have exited from the grain and appears as a line. So here the dislocation lines are there which are there that have left or exited the grain, and then that dislocation will look as if they are lines on the grains. Now in a polycrystalline material, the polycrystalline material is generally very stronger because of multiple grains which are there, and because of that it is much more stronger than the single crystal equivalent of the same material. So it will be much more stronger, which means that we need greater amount of stress when we are deforming this material. Because it is a polycrystalline material, there are a lot of grain boundaries. Grain boundaries are hindrance to the movement of dislocation, and because of that you cannot deform the material. You have to overcome these grain boundaries, and then only yielding is possible. So to initiate slip and for yielding, what will happen, that grain boundaries are there and this will act as a barrier to the movement of dislocation, and then because of that deformation is not possible. That is why in a polycrystalline material it is difficult to deform the material as easily as we do in a single crystal material. And also the crystal with the largest resolved stress yields first. So the crystal which has the most planar density, which has the most favorable orientation, only that will deform. So unless and until that plane deforms, other planes cannot deform. So that plane will deform first, and it will need lot of load, lot of stress for it to deform, and unless and until that favorable plane will deform, the other planes will not deform. So even though a single grain may be favorably oriented, so what may happen is that a single individual grain which is there in a polycrystalline material, maybe that grain is favorably oriented for deformation, but it cannot deform because all the other grains are also there which will create hindrance for this material, for this grain to deform. That is why all the grains have to be oriented in a favorable condition, only then the deformation will begin, and that will provide a hindrance. Unless and until all the grains are oriented properly, it will not deform the material. So even though a single grain may be favorably oriented with the applied stress for slip, it cannot deform until the adjacent or less favorable oriented grains are capable of slip, which also requires a higher applied stress. So basically unless and until each and every grains are favorably oriented, the material cannot deform. So that is why the polycrystalline material need more amount of stress and load for deformation than their single crystal counterparts. So to summarize what we have studied today, we have studied about the slip mechanism, how the material deforms when it is a single crystal, and what is the deformation mechanism when the material is a polycrystalline material. In a single crystalline material, the material deforms as soon as the material has a favorable orientation of the grains in terms of the direction and in terms of the slip plane. But in a polycrystalline material, even though individually the grain is favorably oriented for deformation, it cannot deform unless and until all the other grains are favorably oriented for deformation. So that is the difference, and because of that, in a polycrystalline material, when you want to deform a polycrystalline material, you have to apply more stress, more load than their single crystal counterparts. So I hope you understood what we have discussed today. You can like the video, you can share the video, you can subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. All the best.